Oh, you're back. Thanks for coming back. I hope that you're here to finish this project. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. Usually we don't get finished with a project, but I'm going to really try to finish this project on my end. So I really want you to kind of get into it and try to finish yours today too. And of course, if you don't, that's cool. You can do it after the video ends. If you've missed part one of this project, if you can, go back and view it again to kind of give you even a better idea. Okay, let's continue on. I don't know what you have and what you've started on, but on my situation, I don't know if you can actually see how this is going on right here. I don't know if you can see that like that, but I'm sure we can get pictures of it individually. I've got my bare bones, or what I call the bare bones of the picture. There's a few other things that I'm going to do. Kind of put a background back there, and I'm going to take my shoulders and my arms all the way off the table like this. Okay. I'm not being real kind in this picture. I'm just talking about being kind. I really want you to try to draw a picture of you actively doing something for somebody else to show that you like them and you care about them. And usually if you like people and you care about them, you're kind to them, right? So that's what I want you to keep in mind while you're doing it. Another thing is that I think it's important to also keep in mind that you are an individual on your own. You're going to be doing things a lot different from other people, right? I don't know how many people are doing this project right now, but everybody is an individual, and so everybody has kind of an individual idea on what kindness is. But I think we can all kind of agree that being kind is a good thing. So I'm ready for color, so I'm going to start coloring. If you're not ready to color, that's cool too. I'm just kind of wanting you to see how I progress with this project. I also want to but tell you about old comic strips, because this is kind of a one panel. I know that a lot of you have seen like multiple panel comic strips. I mean, like in comic books, they're that way. Originally, comics or comic strips were in newspapers, and I don't read the paper anymore, so I don't even really know if they still have comics in newspapers. Do they? Does anybody out there know? Do you read the comics? But boy, when I was a kid, on Sunday morning paper, there was like 3 pages of comic strips in full color. It was really kind of cool, and I always loved them. And of course, I collected comic books when I was a little kid. I was prone to Superman, Batman, Justice League people, kind of thing. But it's really kind of interesting how important they were at the time. And now, a lot of the comic strips are called illustrated novels. There's a lot more wordage and a lot more of these speech bubbles. But it's really, I think it's fun to go back and look at stuff like that. I remember there was one when I was really young, and I know that you guys have heard of him, Peanuts, Snoopy, Linus, all those kids in the Peanuts. He started out with a single panel cartoon in newspapers. That's kind of how he started. And they were so successful that they made movies out of it, and TV shows and stuff like that. So I thought that was really kind of a cool. My favorite cartoon right now is called The Far Side. and it's done by, excuse me, Gary Larson. It's a little bit more adult, but I think kids would like them too. But again, they started out with having their work in newspapers. But in each of those comic strips, a strip is, there's more than one panel. You know, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of them are even longer than that, right? So a comic strip has their little tiny stories. You know, if there's 4 or 5 little panels, they tell a little bitty story. And that's what they did. And if you were a big fan like I was of a variety of comic strips, and keep in mind, comic strips have been around longer than I've been around. They've been around since, I want to say, the late 1900s. Cartoons have been around, or comic strips and comical characters have been in publications like magazines and newspapers for a very, very long time, over 100 years. So this is not like something brand new. So in a comic strip, there are panels, like I've told you before, right? See how I'm bearing down on this? When I use colored pencils, I really like to bear down and make them as dark as you can. Now, and I know you have, for those of you that have seen comic books before, right? There's multiple panels. And they're not always just square, right? Some are weird shaped. It's just a panel is this one picture, and they put these pictures together in these panels. And in between the panels, the lines or the space in between the panels are called gutters. So they really are kind of like gutters. They're like these little empty spaces around each of the panels. And I used to make, when I was a kid, and maybe you do, I'm sure, I know that I've worked with kids before your age that make their own comic books and their own comics, their comic characters. Maybe there are some of you out there that make your own comic books. I know that I had a young man in the 4th grade a couple of years ago where he had a bunch of them. And he would bring them in and show them to me and stuff. I really loved looking at him. He had a really great imagination. He created his own characters. You know, he didn't use somebody else's characters. He created his own characters and dressed them the way that he wanted, and he would make them do all these different weird kinds of things. One of them was a dog that wore a cowboy hat. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. But it was really kind of cool. So, and the one good thing about this young man's work was that there wasn't real violence and everything. It was about this happy dog that wore a cowboy hat. That he was just a sweet old dog, you know, that everybody liked and everybody wanted to be around. So, I don't know. It was a lot of fun every time he'd bring one. And he'd color them in just like we're doing on ours today. So if you haven't ever really thought about making your own comic book or your comic strip, that's something that you can do. That's pretty easy. I know that there are spaces on the internet. I don't know if you are allowed to be on the internet, but get your folks maybe to help you. There are several places online where it kind of shows you how to put a comic book together, that kind of a thing. And they're a lot of fun to do. I know I wish I kept mine, right? There's a few things that I made back when I was in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade that exist anymore, unfortunately. How about you? Have you done this before? Have you created anything fun and exciting like that? Cool. Now, another thing, this is there's another term I want you to remember, and that is called a caption. A caption is not what's in the speech bubble, but something that's like written in the panel somewhere, like Paul was walking down the street and saw a person. And it's just words at the bottom or the top that kind of give more information about what's going on in this panel. So that's several words that if you're really interested in doing a comic book of sorts, these words I'm giving you may help you. You know, that these are the basic things that make up a really cool comic strip or comic book. So let me get my, there we go. And I'm not coloring my mustache or my beard completely black because, as you well know, I got gray in my hair, right? So if I don't put it in all the way, it kind of looks like it's got white streaks in it. Here we go. I wish I looked that young. I'm using not only colored pencils, but I'm also using crayons as well. I need some flesh color that I don't have on my colored pencils. And again, you know me, I'm not into perfect pictures. I just want you to go in here and do your best and have some fun. These can be silly, right? I mean, this sounds, a lot of times I sound so serious about stuff that we talk about, even though I think that it's a good thing to talk about, especially to young people. I want you to have some fun. Okay. Getting there. Let me see. How about a yellow? That's more like an orange to me. Here we go. How you doing out there? You're doing anything fun? Once again, if you want to, I don't think anybody's done it yet, but I'd really love to see some of this artwork. You can go to Arts Council of Oklahoma City's Facebook page or Instagram. Send me a photograph that you've taken with your camera. I'd love to see some of this artwork. But anyway, it's coming along pretty well. Boy, well, that was fun. Or I thought it was fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Listen, probably won't see you again until after Christmas, perhaps. I don't know, unless you go online and to the Arts Council of Oklahoma City's website and check out the videos that I've done in the past. Not just mine, but the other artists that have things for you guys to do while we're not going to school. But anyway, have a good holiday. Please be safe. When you are out in the world, wear one of these. To me, it's a sign of respect. I wear this for you, right? I want you to be safe and have a good time and stay close to home with your family. And anyway, have a good time this holiday, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.